Once upon a time in a land filled with colorful blocks and bouncy balls lived a teacher named Michelle. Michelle wasn't just any teacher, she was a shape superstar. One day she gathered her students, a group of curious kids, and announced, "Today we're going on a shapes and patterns expedition." The kids cheered and bounced on their seats, eager to learn from their shape superstar teacher. First, Michelle introduced basic shapes using colorful building blocks. She showed them squares, circles, triangles, and rectangles. "Look at these amazing shapes," she exclaimed. The kids giggled and touched the blocks, discovering that shapes have different sides and corners. They built towers, houses, and even robots using the blocks, learning that shapes can be combined to create new things. They learned that a square has 4 equal sides and 4 corners. A circle has no corners. A triangle has 3 sides and 3 corners, and a rectangle has 4 sides, 2 long and 2 short, and 4 corners. Then Michelle asked the kids to close their eyes and listen carefully. She made different sounds: shoo, whoosh, thud. Then she opened the shapes again and asked them to match the sounds to the shapes. Shoo was for circle because it rolls, whoosh was for square because it slides, and thud was for triangle because it has 3 points. This game made the kids laugh and learn at the same time. Then Michelle challenged the kids to find these shapes in their classroom. They went on a shape hunt, finding squares in the tiles on the floor, circles in the clock on the wall, and even a triangle in the art supplies. Each discovery made the kids feel like real detectives, proud of themselves for identifying the shapes. Next, Michelle introduced patterns using colorful beads. She created a simple pattern: red, blue, red, blue. "Can you continue this pattern?" she asked. The kids excitedly added more beads, following the red-blue sequence. They realized that patterns repeat and have a predictable order. Then they created their own patterns using different colored beads. Some patterns were simple, some were complex, but all were beautiful. Michelle showed them that patterns aren't just on beads, but everywhere in nature. They looked out the window and saw the striped petals of a flower, the rings of a tree, and the spots on a ladybug. "Can you see the patterns?" asked Michelle. The kids shouted, "Yes." They learned that recognizing patterns helps us appreciate the beauty in nature. After the break, Michelle showed them how shapes and patterns work together. She created a pattern using different shapes: square, circle, triangle, square, circle, triangle. The kids continued the pattern, realizing that shapes can be part of a repeating sequence. They made their own shape pattern, taking turns being the different shapes. It was great fun. They even made a shape pattern with their bodies, forming a line of squares, circles, and triangles. Then Michelle explained that knowing shapes and patterns helps us in everyday life. "Look at the tiles on the floor," she said, "they're arranged in a pattern." She pointed out patterns in clothing, buildings, and even nature. The kids realized that shapes and patterns are everywhere. They learned that shapes help in construction, building houses, designing furniture, in art, creating paintings, drawings, and sculptures, and even in games playing with building blocks, solving puzzles, and so much more. Finally, Michelle led them on a shapes and patterns scavenger hunt. The kids searched for shapes and patterns around the classroom. They found squares, circles, triangles, and rectangles in various objects. They found patterns in the arrangement of books on the shelf, the design of the carpet, and even the way the sunlight streamed through the window. They realized that identifying shapes and patterns is a skill that helps us explore and understand the world around us. As the final bell rang, the kids gathered their stuff, their minds brimming with new knowledge. They said goodbye to their shape superstar teacher, promising to keep exploring shapes and patterns in everything they do. They left Michelle's class that day, not just with the ability to identify basic shapes and patterns, but with a newfound appreciation for these fundamental concepts that help us explore and understand the world around us. They discovered that shapes and patterns weren't just about shapes and patterns. It was about having fun and learning something new. It was a reminder that learning can be an exciting adventure, a shapes and patterns expedition full of fun, laughter, and discovery. And who knows, maybe one day they'll become shapes superstars themselves, sharing the joy of learning with others. This video was creatively crafted by Creativo Solutions with the help of artificial intelligence. We hope you enjoyed this AI-generated short story. See you in the next one.